Want another name? Devil May Cry.
Okay, I hope you brought your list of things to talk about. I hope you brought a podcast chart of topics.
A list of discussion points and things that might be interesting.
So here's the first of the 5 actually interesting things to talk about with this game.
Are you sure you don't want to save it until it's going?
No, because it's right here.
Oh.
When Devil May Cry 2 came out on the PlayStation 2.
Save it till it's going. I don't know why I said that.
It came with 2 discs. And it, like, disc 1 was Dante, and disc 2 was Dahlia. Dahlia Bogerlis over here. And if you put in disc 1, you play through Dante's campaign story mode. And if you put in disc 2, you play through Dahlia's campaign story mode. Her name's not Dahlia, I'm just calling her that, because it's funny.
I've noticed.
But here's like, right from the first instant of putting the disc in, here's how fucked up this game is. I just got out of the shower.
Well, I mean, I'm ready now.
Oh, you're so cute. Anyway,
if
you put in disc 1, it loads up Dante's story mode, but then if you pop the tray and take disc 1 out and put disc 2 in, when you load it back up, you'll still be in Dante's story mode, but you'll be playing as Lucia.
Stop and swap.
Both of the fucking discs have the same amount of fucking content on there. They both had both character story modes on there. The only difference is the flag it checks when it reads the disc for which character model to load up as the player character. The fucking incompetence of this game is so deep that it is hard-coded into the fucking disc. Why did it ship on 2 discs?
Why did it
The only difference is which character model gets loaded up as the player character. You can play through Lucia's story mode as Dante on the original PS2 game. Can't on this, which made the playthrough I had to do to get Lucia's fucking story mode footage fucking agony, because she plays like shit. But, like, right away, what the fuck is wrong with this game? Like, right away! Isn't that Devil May Cry music?
Devil May Cry 2, Simon's Quest.
Devil May Cry 2, what a horrible night to have a curse. Look at how high octane and action packed this game looks, Nick. Oh, here's the sequel to the Devil May Cry. Oh, isn't this everything you were hoping for and expecting out of the sequel to Devil May Cry? Oh look, it's Sonic Adventure.
Devil May Cry Salmonex edition.
Look, it's Chaos jutting his face out of the building in Sonic Adventure. Remember Sonic Adventure? It's so fucking weird. Forgot how long this was.
Life?
Resident Evil 2. Okay. Devil May Cry. So unlike some cowards out there who are like, well, let's play the entire Devil May Cry series, who skip over Devil May Cry 2. The cowards who run in fear from the Devil May Cry 2. Just be like, oh, this game's bad, we're not gonna play it. And it's probably non-canon, so who cares? Fuck you, we're playing it.
Fork me.
We're playing the Devil May Cry 2.
Fook me? Fook you.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
It's a funny thing to do to Sorry, it was funny. You like tilt the mic more towards yourself.
I don't.
It's like, you know what? You're not hearing enough of me right now.
I don't know how it sounds before I listen to it.
The legend of Sparta has been
So here's Claire, as you can see. She has red hair.
a demon's
Rebecca Chambers.
Dante.
Dante. Yeah. Just no fucking build-up. No introduction, by the way. Remember how Devil May Cry 1 started with, like, Trish walking in and being like, hey, so here's the story. No, nothing. Because Dante jumps in.
All up in this.
So, keen observation, you might notice that she has red hair and a white shirt. And Dante has white hair and a red shirt.
What? You go back and get the rest of the shirt.
You call
You only have a piece of it.
So, like, that coin is, like, the most important part of Dante's character in this game.
He's Harvey Dent.
And I know that's weird. Yes! Yes, he is! Yes, he is, Nick! I like how
Glad you asked.
immediately you fucking called that shit. I don't understand why, and I don't know where that comes from, but in this game, and in this game only, Dante has a fucking coin that he flips to be like, aw, heads you live, tails you die.
He makes his own luck, in other words.
It's so fucking... And like, I don't even care. That's the plot twist. It's a two-sided coin. That is the revelation at the end of the game.
It's like every other coin
It's so fucking stupid.
ever.
God damn you.
God has damned me.
So here's the second... damn it. Actually interesting thing.
We're burning through them. There are only 5.
I told you they're not going to last.
At least stretch them.
This is actually like the best design for Dante. I actually really like how Dante looks in this game. I wish we could get a camera angle to actually appreciate it, but we can't. Here's why I like this design. It's really simple. It's actually just a slight alteration of his design from the first game. Because in the first game, he had... Okay, here's fashion school for Dante. His outfit in the first game was black boots, red pants, black undershirt, red vest, and then red jacket coat on top of that.
Just in layers.
Yes. So in this game, Dante took the red undershirt and turned it into like a Kevlar front chest thing. And he's wearing that over his red jacket. But he's still wearing the red vest and the black undershirt underneath it. He took his design from DMC1 and he added one layer of clothing and wore it over the top of his coat. So you'll see, you can tell where we are in the timeline by how many layers of clothing Dante is wearing.
It was brisk. I dressed in layers.
In Devil May Cry 3, he isn't wearing an undershirt. That's how you can tell it's a prequel. He's wearing an extra layer of clothing on top of the coat, which is how you know it's set after DMC 1. So, like, what do you... do you think it's a good design? Like, costume, character model?
I honestly don't remember what it looked like in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, there's not a lot to Dante's character design. He's just white hair, red jacket.
I mean, it looks like just one piece.
Dante from the Devil May Cry series. That's probably another reason
That's his full name, by the way.
Yeah, that's probably the reason I like this design, actually, is because this is what he wore in Shin Megami Tensei. In Shin Megami Tensei 2, of course, I can't actually find a picture of what he looked like in DMC 1. They're all...
BBC 1,
Here we
BBC 2, BBC 3.
It's really low quality.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot more pronounced
elaborate.
with the red. And this, it's like a dichotomy between the red and the black. So, for some reason, I don't understand why, crystallized demon blood.
You get the Star Fox Adventures. You found a new item anime.
So, like, for some reason, they got like an artist from Atlas to like do a bunch of character designs for them. I don't know how or why. I don't know how that partnership worked, but
I don't know how it was offered, why they agreed.
But in Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, Dante is a optional party member in that game, and a boss fight. So this is the design that he has in Shin Megami Tensei 3. So I think that's why I like it, because when I look at this Dante, I just think of Shin Megami Tensei 3, and I feel good about myself. So I go like, oh yeah, that's a good Dante. That's the Dante that he was in Shin Megami Tensei 3, which was a good game.
I think I like the first one better.
Yeah, like, I don't like his design in DMC 3.
Jesus, what a weird jump.
I don't like his design in DMC 3. I do like his design in DMC 1, but it's hard to appreciate.
Well, it's hard to even see it.
This is...
It's so pixel.
Yeah. This one... I really like this one. So...
Oh shit, how are you gonna get past... Oh.
So that's the second interesting thing. The third interesting thing...
The third of 5, remember.
The third of the 5 interesting things that there actually are to talk about this game is... I'm like going too fast, actually, because we're about to hit gameplay. The third interesting thing is how this game was made.
You start with 300?
No, I've picked up 300.
Why did you do that?
Because this game's bad.
I thought you only had 2.
So before we actually get to the gameplay, because that bridge represents gameplay, let's actually take some time to talk about how this game plays.
Aha!
It doesn't play like DMC1 did. In DMC1, you had different combos depending on how fast you mashed the button for attack. So if you like hit triangle, and then waited like a millisecond, and then hit triangle again, you would do a different attack pattern. And that's actually how the combat in all of the DMC games work, except this one. In this, it's based on directional input. So if you mash the attack button and move the directional stick at the same time, your attack animations will change. So if you're holding like forward on the stick and then mash the attack button, he'll do a different attack combo than he'll do if you just do it while standing still and not holding anything. So if you mix it up and like start going into a combo while not holding down the stick and then start moving the stick, then the combo gets extended and he has different movesets, which is actually fairly interesting.
Which is smoking sexy style.
And then, like, we still have the same holding down the lock-on button, and then moving the moving the stick in different directions in order to do different moves at the high time. And then here is the stinger for this game. Look at how fucking weak that is. He looks like he's fucking tripping.
It looks like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. It sucks!
A Happy Gilmore, but instead of golf, it's stabbing someone.
So they literally... Okay, so that leads... Okay, so you know what? Let's just go. Because I needed to talk about how the combat in this game is supposed to work before we get to how the combat actually works in this game. Because I do need you to appreciate that there was potential. It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way.
It doesn't really seem like the worst way to die. It was, like, comfortable. They weren't being hung. They're being hung in little baskets. So, like, you know, you could take a load off. X.
So, welcome to Devil May Cry 2.
How do you have 315 now?
Welcome to Devil May Cry 2. This is the entire game.
Oh shit, took damage.
Oh no. Not my smoking sexy style. Look at this! It juggles them! God, what the fuck? I'm not even, like... So, like, in the original game, you actually had to mash.
Yeah.
You actually had to mash
Some
the
effort.
button every time you shoot. You have to press the button. And this, you can just fucking hold it down. Jesus H. That's all you have to do. That's the entire game. Is just... You have a piece of tape... Hold down the square button. Congratulations, you have now beaten Devil May Cry 2. The game is officially over. You have pressed the square button. You did it. That's it.
Innovative combat system.
That's it.
Real-time graphics.
It's over. This is the game. You literally
Full
don't have to
motion video.
You don't have to do anything else the entire game except for this. I'm just mashing it now to make it go faster because the animation for the shooting actually is slightly faster if you mash it.
What sort of weird intervals are these fucking...
You're like obsessed
I
with the
don't
fucking
get it.
red orbs.
You collected 2 and you had 300. You collected 1 more and you had like 425.
Well, the bigger they
Like
are,
tennis.
the more they're worth.
They all look the same size to me.
Well, in this game they do, yes, because it's a bad game. But normally they are visually distinct in terms of size.
It's still weird.
So here's another reason this is such a shame. Because this game actually adds a lot of really cool little mechanical details. Because like, as you're shooting, and as you're shooting backwards, it's actually slightly slower. Like, it is actually waiting on Dante's animation. And then you have cool little, like, jump shooting like that. And then you have that shit. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And then there's actually a different animation for which button with which direction you hold the stick in when you do the double jump. If you just do it normal, he'll go do that. If you hold it back, he'll do a backflip. And this game adds a dodge roll.
Ooh.
A Dark Souls-esque dodge roll. Surely this is the Dark Souls of Devil May Cry. Yeah. Look, we do cartwheels. And if you run at a wall while holding down the dodge button, he'll do a roll run. A ray. So it's like someone on this team was like, okay, hold on, okay, what if? And you know who that guy was? That guy's name is Itsuno, who is like the guy who does Devil May Cry now. Because the third interesting thing about this game is actually, this game was made in like 2 months. Like 2 to 6 months or something like that. And the reason it happened was so, okay, Hideki Kamiya made the Devil May Cry. The Devil May Cry run. Will he cry? He may cry. I don't know. He's the devil. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Satan might lead.
Satan might lead. So Hideki Kamiya made Devil May Cry, and he's like, yep, that sure was a game I made. Time to go over here and make another game now. And Capcom was like, okay, time to make another Devil May Cry, because it was a successful game, I guess, and we want to make money, so let's make a new one. And they started making it without telling Hideki Kamiya that they were making it. And when he found out, he was like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Please stop. Please stop doing this terrible thing. So again, it's sort of like the opposite of Hideo Kojima. When Hideo Kojima found out that they were making a Metal Gear 2, like, without him, he was like, no! No! And he, like... And then he made his own Metal Gear 2. It was like, here's how you're supposed to do it. Fuck you. But anyway, so, like, instead, Capcom grabbed a bunch of random Capcom developers, as they are. And, you know, just you know, just grabbed a handful of fucking M&Ms out of a bowl and threw them into a room, and was like, okay, make Devil May Cry 2. And they were like, okay, what? I literally don't think this game had a director at first. Certainly no one we know about. No one you've ever heard of. And eventually he quit. But anyway, like, so they literally just started making fucking art assets and, like, designing stuff, but they had no idea what the fuck they were doing. They didn't have any direction. So they just kind of fell back, like, what is Capcom famous for? What have all of these developers probably been working on their entire careers? Resident Evil. So what did they do? They just started making a Resident Evil game. They fell back on this default notion that, okay, like, Devil May Cry was originally going to be Resident Evil 4 anyway, so whatever, we're just making a Resident Evil game. So, like, they made, like, the second playable character. It's like, okay, so this is the Jill/Claire, and it's gonna be on 2 discs, like Resident Evil 2 was, and I'll have 2 different stories, I guess. Someone want to write the story? No, don't worry about that. We'll do that later.
Sound, you getting this?
That's
no,
not
we got a lot of scenes to
that's
shoot.
That's not a high priority for us, but we know there's gonna be 2 stories and 2 playable characters, and they'll probably go through the same area. If you want to, like, design the area, I don't know, just make some, like, gothic architecture, textures. Like, we don't need to actually design the levels, just make the art assets. We'll worry about how it all fits together later. Like, they had no idea what they were doing. I don't think they actually had a stinger like this. I don't think they had, like, as terrible as it is, I don't think they actually had it. So eventually, like, Capcom executives or whatever walked into the room and was like, oh shit, they didn't actually make a game. we threw them in a room and gave them money to make a game and they didn't actually do it. Shit. Okay, I guess we need a director now. So they grabbed Itsuno, who, like, I think worked on, like, arcade games and shit. Or whatever. And they were just like, you, help them make this game. And he was like, oh, okay, I mean, I guess we have a lot of good pre-production work here. What they've done can qualify as decent pre-production work, I guess. So, okay, yeah, give me some time and we'll go ahead and make a game. And they're like, okay, you have 2 months. So Itsuno had 2 months to take everything they had actually done, which was not a lot, and make a video game out of it. And this is what we have.
As you hold down
the bountiful fruits of
square
2
button.
months of labor, we have Devil May Cry 2.
AKA, talk about random shit while holding down the square button.
Yeah, there's nothing, like, we're like, that's, like, the most interesting thing about this game is how it was made. Or, more reasonably, how it wasn't made. Until the last 2 months of time. Once again, we have the Goddess of Time, who is just some lady with a lion head.
Oh,
I like how it's very apparent that it's a woman, because she's got tits, but it's a maned lion.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't get that. So here's the fucked up part, is you can upgrade your guns to do even more damage. If you want the game to go by slightly faster. So it was like, I guess when you find out that they basically made this whole game in 2 months, you're like,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, shit, like...
It's impressive. Well, it's sort of like when...
Considering.
My computer kept trying to connect to the Wi-Fi, to my brother's Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
who
down the
lived
street.
Down the street.
Like, yeah, I guess that is a pretty
like,
good signal considering.
I was like, why is it going so fucking slow? And then when I realized that, I'm like, actually, it's going very fast, considering it's trying to connect to Wi-Fi down the street.
Yeah, considering they made this game in, like, a weekend. That's pretty good. That's certainly better than I would have done.
Yeah.
In the same amount of time.
Yeah.
That's certainly better than other people. I would genuinely and sincerely say this is a better game than DMC Devil May Cry. And I know some people will find that to be unreasonable.
Hashtag hot take.
But I firmly believe that this game is a better game than DMC Devil May Cry. Because, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing about, like, what I'm doing with just the walking and rocking around and holding the square button is you don't actually have to do that. You can actually play the game the way it's kind of intended to be played. And look, it is giving you a style ranking. It is saying bingo.
front row.
There is an S rank in this game. I've seen it. It's really hard to get, actually. It's really hard to actually see what the S rank looks like. It's something stupid. The A rank is Are You Ready? Because why the fuck would you bother? But why would you ever do that when you can just do this? Why would you play the game the way it's actually designed to be played when you could just do this instead? And get equal, if not better, results. But here's the thing, I'm not getting style rankings for doing this. I'm not getting a don't worry, are you ready? This isn't stylish. The game has enough wherewithal to realize what the fuck are you doing. That's not stylish. That doesn't look cool.
Multiple sclerosis, Irish Republican Army?
What are you doing? Like, don't play the game like that. That's not cool. That's not stylish. In DMC Devil May Cry, if you can literally walk to the other side of the room, shoot a boss to death, and you'll get a savage! Oh, super sexy style! You're so cool! You're shooting the enemy to death. Good job, you're so cool. So that's why I say this game is better than DMC Devil May Cry. Because at least this game knows that the optimal strategy is for bitches. If you're playing the game like this, you're a bitch. DMC Devil May Cry thinks that the optimal strategy for bitches is so cool. Oh yeah, dude. Look how cool you are, dude. This game's going like, dude, you're a fucking loser. Look at this. You will never, ever get higher than a fucking C or B rank playing the game like this, ever. At the end of a mission ranking screen, I mean. Because your style ranking at the end of that mission ranking screen will always be a fucking D.
Dick.
You might get through the level without getting touched. You might get through the level while collecting 1,000 red orbs to your eternal annoyance. But you will never get anything higher than a D in style. And at least that's more than you can say about DMC Devil May Cry. I love how these enemies are hitting me, even though they're off fucking screen and I can't see them, by the way. I just complimented you, game. I don't know why you're doing this. God damn it. Fuck this. Now it's even easier. So here's Dante's new Devil Trigger, which is like the 5th of the 5 interesting things to talk about, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
We are on number 4.
The last interesting thing to talk about in this game is actually the very, 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 very end of the game. So we're not there yet. The 4th interesting thing to talk about is actually that it does have 2 different story modes depending on which character you're playing as. Dante does have a completely different story from Lucia, and if you play as Lucia, it's shorter. Actually, she only has 13 missions, Dante has 18. They go through the same, like, area, there's a lot of asset reuse, but it is a different, like, cutscene story. She learns things that Dante does not, and she's not there for things that Dante does. So, like, Dante will come into the room at some point in the game, and he'll have just puzzle items. And be like, here, I solved this puzzle for you. And it does feel like, oh, okay, yeah, that's like something that would happen in a Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
Like, once again, the roots of Devil May Cry originally being a Resident Evil game. You can still feel them very strongly, even at this point in the series, the second game of the franchise.
Yeah.
And that's it, so we're done. So the rest of the game's just going to be this.
Save for 5 minutes to say the 5th thing.
At the very, very, literally at the very end of the game. But the entire rest of the game is just going to be this. And I'm just going to sit here quietly.
Alright, so, you know when you walk by a grocery store and the, or it doesn't have to be a grocery, I don't know why I said grocery store in particular. You know when you walk by a store.
Specifically a grocery store.
Specifically a grocery store, and
the
automatic doors open, and you almost feel guilty, and you like, maybe I should go in anyway. That's one thing.
They trick you into wanting to go into the grocery store. They make you feel guilty.
But you know what's really nice is when it's very cold out, and they have the heat on, and you get a big blast of heat. Oh, that's very nice. Also, when it's summer, and it's very hot, and you get a blast of air conditioning. That's what's nice. Alright, second thing. Whoa.
Here's FMV land.
The fucking controller took off.
Look at how bad the FMVs fucking look compared to the in-game graphics.
God.
Everything's out of focus.
Yeah. You're rack focusing on something that isn't on the screen.
See, look at that stylish average D. You know why? Because I fucking sucked. I just walked through the whole game with guns. I respect that about this game. It knows you're a dumbass playing the game, just shooting everything.
Right in the close-up of her ass.
Dumbass. Badass. I don't know what her accent's supposed to be.